Hello, this is Winston Cunningham. It is August 6th, 2023. I want to talk about the family tradition. There was a song that talked about family tradition, a good country artist, and you can look it up, and it might ring a bell with you. But what is customary in one generation is passed along unintentionally and most of the time without knowledge. Things are passed along from family to family to family, and to grandkids, to their grandkids, and so forth. And until somebody says, wait a minute, I can change this, it will just keep on going downhill. If you listen to people talking, you will hear them saying, well, I got this wrong with me, my mama had this, and her mama had this, it's just the way it is, and that's family tradition. Well, that's because the attitudes that were the grandparents and the parents are used without question. And there's a certain amount of that that's beneficial, but not necessarily necessary. That's kind of what happened to me, because my family had heretofore been tied into religion, and I decided I wanted to get over that, and I did. And so whatever I'm passing on to my kids and their kids, if they pay attention, will be different. It is different. And in my case, my ex-wife, who's already gone, canceled out a lot of what I want to pass along to kids and grandkids. So some of that happens. But the main thing I want to point out is that just because your family before you has something good, bad, or ugly with them, pay attention to whether you're absorbing these things without question. And so anything that is part of a family tree can be changed. The amusement with genealogy a lot of people are caught up in is not the history of you, it's the history of the physical body that you're currently using. And this is all. So put that into perspective. As Dr. Connie Rothmel told me one time, said, and of course I was in my early 40s at the time. She said, if you're going to look at the past, at least look at all of it and not just the last 40 years. So we've been here many, many times before, and there's a lot that we've learned over periods of lifetime that we don't have access to until we reach a certain level of awareness this lifetime. And this is a choice whether people wake up and start pulling some of this forward, or they just remain asleep like the ones before them. And so life is interesting. And yes, there is one life, but there's many, many lifetimes. People need to understand that. And anything that you want to produce for yourself, it doesn't matter what your family produces. Sometimes if you follow tradition, that can make it easier. If your dad was rich, it's probably easier for you to get rich. Because you just kind of follow the family tradition. But you can change any of that. I can remember my dad saying one time, I asked him how he felt, and he said, I hurt. I said, well, why? And he said, I'm 80 years old. I'm supposed to hurt. Well, at this point, I'm 79. I'm 3 months away from being 80. And I don't hurt. I got over that. I've chose a different way of being. I don't have to be like someone before me has been. Now, there's some people that's come before me that I want to be more like Jesus. So you can pattern yourself after anybody that you want, that you see that is productive. But choose carefully, and choose one that exemplifies the kind of traits that you want to have for yourself. Because everything is a matter of choice. Otherwise, we would have not been granted free will. And there's not somebody up there making decisions for us, as popular to believe. But knowing takes you above believing, and that's what Jesus represented. He brought the mutation called knowing to rise above believing and encouraged other people to do so. But for them, I'm amazed at how little of what he said is actually understood by the masses. So, and this is because of even the believing follows what came before you, believe like they did. And so I heard one well-known preacher say one time, he said it's one of the saddest things he could see is that people just adopted their parents' way of believing without ever even questioning. This happens a lot. So look closely, if you would, at the prospect of family tradition and look to see what you may have inadvertently, without awareness, absorbed just because that's the way your folks and his folks were. Anyway, I'm Winston Cunningham. Thank you.